Oh, let me fix that. Well, whatever. I'll scooch down a little bit. I do want to do something a little better. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I want to do something better. And this is not going to be like the subconscious stream of thought that I went through yesterday. Sorry about that. This is going to be a very quick video because it's already past my bedtime. But I wanted to make up for yesterday by making a quote-unquote quick video. But with an actual topic. And it kind of goes along my whole idea that I had before, old Lego is cool Lego. And I was thinking about it. And I'm going to start off with one of my favorite things that I received, one of my favorite sets that I received when I was a kid. Now, this is pre-Technic. This is pre-Classic Space. But only a year before, this set came out in 1976. And I already talked about the set, I think, in an old video of mine. But I remember getting this set and just absolutely loving it because of many reasons, because of construction and whatever, and tippers and trucks and stuff like that. And you can see how simple Lego was back in the day. I mean, very few pieces, and you have this thing, and it's really neat. But specifically, because I already talked about this set, I want to talk about the chain links. So this is not old Lego sets or cool Lego sets. The old Lego parts are cool Lego parts. And so I was fortunate enough to get this set when I was like 9 and for Christmas. And it was very well used. These aren't the pieces, my original pieces. I rebuilt this set. Actually, I think I got the set with the instructions, and I don't know if the instructions went to Jeff or whatever, but I rebuilt it. Maybe I just used Peter on instructions, but I can't remember. But I remember this from when I was a kid, and the specific thing that sticks in my mind was the treads, 1x2 bricks. Chain link bricks. I don't know what they're called on Piron. They came out in 1976, which I thought, I didn't know that until I looked it up just now. Of course, the set came out in 76 because I looked that up. I thought these things were older than 1976, but they're not older than 1976. So, and they came out with a 2x4 gray Technic brick, which they stopped using afterwards because they came out with the 1x2, 4, 6, 8, and 16 bricks. The 10, 12, and 14s didn't come out until a few years later. But the original expert builder sets that came out in 77 overall only had 1x2, 1x4, 1x8, 1x16 Technic bricks. I think one of them, the motorcycle, I can't remember now, had 1x6 bricks in it. So the 10, 12, 14 didn't come out until a few years later. But anyway, the original ones, Technic bricks. Like, this is actually really cool, and I don't know why they discontinued it, because this solves a lot of problems. Because you can use it as an axle, as a solid axle. I had, to start here, I wanted to talk about the chain links, but let's just go off on a tangent really, really quick. This set came out, Josh put Chewbacca in here. I didn't notice that. He stayed in there. This set came out before this set here. I think. Because this one uses actual 1x2 bricks, but they're an odd, oh, this is tough. This is the problem with the old Technic. The 1x2 bricks that came out pre-expert builder Technic bricks, you can see it's just a 2-piece injection mold, because the injection mold came on top to form the circle, and there's nothing inside. It's a hollow inside of the brick. So it's not a solid tube inside here for the axle. And so I remember getting this set, and of course this is the one set that I mentioned when I broke semi on purpose my first Lego piece, and I was actually mortified. A word that should come back into common parlance, but I'm not going to go off in another stream of consciousness about that. So they did not use this one, and my memory was so flaky about that set, this set here, that when I went to go rebuild it a year or two ago, I honestly thought they used this piece, because I have lots of these pieces. But they used the original 1x2 semi-Technic brick. And so I had to go find them. And I have some, not too many, but I have some, at least 8 in my collection here. And so I built that. And again, that was fun. And again, the milky white axles, Really, really cool, because that's what they had back in the mid 70s, which is what you needed. So what I wanted to talk about is the length of how much of these now this isn't, I'm sure other people have more of these things, but I have a bit. And what I used to do, even with this set, and I got another set that had these two, and I would do this just watching TV, and I would just make a circle like that and just push it down. And that's just me goofing around and just keep on making circles, spirals, and so the thing is that you could just keep on spiraling this like that. Always thought that was cool, and I did factor that into some of my buildings back then. Blah blah. The only issue is that just like the Technic treads that came after, it's very, very difficult to brick build this into anything. It has 2 studs on top of each piece. Let's zoom in. 2 studs on top of each piece, but there's no way for studs to fit into the bottom, so it's very, very hard to lock down nicely. What I ended up doing is I would build a 2x6 and just grab 2 of them and put them inside a 2x6 brick build thing, and with a tile on the bottom, so it would be harder for it to fall out if I wanted it to be an end for something. So yeah, after years of collecting in garage sales and Kijijis and all that stuff, I have a lot now. Like, almost too much. Shh, don't tell anybody. Which was why it was easy to build this thing. And the other thing that has to be of note, because I want to talk about specifics about why old Lego is cool Lego, and give you guys a little bit of a history. Again, I talked about the Milky Way axles in the 2x4 Technic brick, the original Technic brick. So this is one of my bins of old Lego, and so I just went back in here, and I won't go into some of this stuff now. But what I wanted to talk about is, as you can see here, it uses the red 9-spoke gears, original 9-spoke gears. And again, I don't know when they came out, but they came out after the gear set, the 002 gear set, which I could have shown you because I got 3 copies in my garage, but I didn't want to. But the gear set came with this guy, and I want to say white. I think white. And these are different gears than these guys. This is a completely separate gear system already. Now, they sort of do work well together-ish, but they do not mesh well, the 2 different gear sets. These are fatter. The teeth are fatter than these guys. And so you'd have to find comparable gear sets. So the smaller blue, so this is a big blue one, original. This is a smaller blue one. And if I remember correctly, they actually use these things as Fabuland tables, which is kind of cool. But the original gear sets do not work well in the actual treads. They don't. The links, they do not fit properly. Whereas the new gears fit perfectly into the treads. And so you can make, and if you look on, various people who have an inordinate amount of this stuff, they use the gears to make GBCs, whatever else, the gears in the chain to make GBCs and whatever. I always thought that was cool. And now that I have an inordinate amount, as I like to say, amount of this stuff, it would be advantageous for me to think about building something like that. And I just haven't yet. So it's always been in the back of my mind, and I want the time to do that, but I'm so busy with all my other pet projects that I want to finish up. But the 1976 treads, the 1x2 brick treads, really, really cool sets, really, really cool pieces. I think they only came in like 4 sets, and I think they were discontinued like in 1981 when they came out with the little treads, the little the tread chains, and the Technic sets, as well as the tank treads, and like for the bulldozers and stuff. I did, I will say this, to continue this conversation, specifically about this not going off on tangents. I need 2 more. I did, for a while in grade, I don't know, I want to say 3 or 4, made a ring of these things. Like, this thing's not going together nicely. This was easier when I was a kid. Everything was easier when I was a kid. I did make ring, and I put it on my finger. It fit on my finger when I was in grade 3. That's not fitting on my finger now. So you can make these, and the thing is that you can like do the whole, not maybe with this, but you can actually make your tires bigger using these things. And I did all that. The other thing I did, and I thought that was really genius of me back when I was like 9. Just give me a sec. I should have thought about this and brought it down. But what I did is I made caterpillars, fluffy, well, in my head, they were fluffy caterpillars. And to do that, and they would just go across the table. So you go like this, like that. And then you just start adding 1x2s on top like that. And because they are the same thickness as a 1x2 brick when they're together, pretty much. Let's see if I can make enough here using these guys, because I always thought this was really kind of cool. And I should have thought about making this before I made the video, so you guys wouldn't watch me build really quickly. A little song and dance, a little soft too. Oh, that was not even Lego. Let's see if we can find it. There it goes. That goes in the other bin there. Almost done. A few more. Let's find just a couple more 1x2x5s. And again, I'm not guaranteeing this is going to work, but it worked when I was a kid. And I was trying to make a perpetual motion machine using these guys. And one more. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. There we go. So, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I'm going to move everything else out of the way. And so you have something like that. And I would just, maybe I had these things in here. There we go. Give me another one. Again, it's been a while since I've done any of this kind of stuff. And I'm sad that I forgot my youth, my indiscriminate youth, as they say. And so you could just keep on going like that. And this is binding up. There we go. Maybe I should get an axle in there. I'll tell you, it's been years. Whee! This was so entertaining when I was 9. And of course, I didn't have 1x2x5s back then. What I did is I put a stack of 3 or 4 1x2s, various colors, and just go like that. And so I had plenty of ideas of what I wanted to do with this. And if you're really good, in a spot or two, I would put a couple 1x4s on top, which were heavier than the rest of the 1x2s. And so when I got to this part, it would just go over by itself. So it would move by itself. 5 or 6 clicks, but still it would just move by itself. And I thought that was really cool. So anyway, this is what I used to do for fun. And I can't complain about that at all. So I don't know. I keep, yeah, this is the pieces will come off. The faster you get, as long as you don't fly into my eye. This is, it's not a shame that Lego stopped making these kind of pieces, because again, they came out with new stuff, better stuff, more complicated, more technic oriented stuff. But if you have the means, if you have the chance, if you have the ability to find some of these older sets and older pieces, because old Lego, in my opinion, old Lego is cool Lego. And I think that it's a shame if people didn't, I don't know, if they forgot about how original sets, yeah, obviously not original 1976, but how scaled down they were, and yet how functional they were, how detailed they were, but how they look like what they're supposed to be, and how much effort I think that Lego put into making almost every year of their existence. They added something. Again, these pieces came out in '76, right? And this is, again, a year before Technic or Expert Builder came out. And this was cool. And then Technic came out, or Expert Builder came out. That's even cool too. So kids who like this kind of set kind of eased into Expert Builders. I know I did. I got this one year, and I got the Go-Kart 854 the next year. So I think it's 854. So it's amazing to me how Lego would come out, even the floaty boats in the early 70s, and then the train track in the late 60s, and like they always seem to want to come up with something, and some pieces stuck and stuck around for a long time, and some pieces didn't. This is one of the pieces that did not stick around for a long time because they came out with better pieces, better Technic chains and stuff like that. But for the time, for 1976, this stuff is brilliant. In my opinion, and I can't fault them for discontinuing it in the '81. I think that was the last set that had them in there. But you know, if you have them, and if you just, I mean, you could build the stuff, as I say, into things, but I don't know what you would do with it. See, this is what I just always like, to split down by itself. This is what I used to do all the time. Of course, I never had this many when I was a kid. So I had like maybe 1.5 feet. So from the 2 or 3 sets that I had that had these things on it. And then again, the acquisitions in the mid 80s from my friends from school and stuff like that, I got more. And of course now I have lots more. So this is my first, well, not my first, my video for continuing the old Lego's Cool Lego, but this isn't specifically about a set, it's specifically about a piece. And I think this is a phenomenal piece. And it has versatility, and I don't want to use the word charm for something that's inanimate, but I did have lots of hours back in my youth, and this was one of those, like, a 2x4 brick is a 2x4 brick. This was captivating of my imagination, what I could do with it. And then Technic came along, and that this kind of just fell into a box and never to be seen again until now. So, but anyway, that's it. I said it's gonna be short, 17 minutes, short. So there you go. Old Lego's Cool Lego. I'm gonna do this sporadically. Again, I have a whole bin of old Lego here that I want to talk about, and other things that I want to talk about that's not going on some huge random stream of consciousness that wastes an hour of your time. So that's it. That's all. I'm actually going to wrap this up now. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.